My name is Alana. At 34, I should have been beaming with pride as I walked across that stage, clutching the degree I had worked 5 brutal years to earn. Night after night of lectures after long shifts, homework squeezed in between packing lunches and folding laundry, weekends locked away in study marathons while my babies begged for just an hour of my time. That stage was supposed to be the proof that the sacrifice was worth it. But all I could see when I looked into the crowd were 5 empty chairs. Seats I had reserved for the people I loved most. Seats that should have held the loudest cheers. Seats that stayed empty, like the hollow pit forming in my chest. Everyone else's families erupted in joy, flowers, balloons, hugs that spilled into happy tears. I stood in my cap and gown, smiling for the cameras of strangers, but inside, I felt stripped bare. This moment was supposed to be mine, ours, yet I was alone. And then my phone buzzed. Not with congratulations. Not with "we're proud of you," but with a message from Marcus, my husband. The words on that screen hit me harder than any missed cheer ever could. Marcus and I had been married 12 years. He was 36, a systems analyst with a steady job at a healthcare company in Atlanta. On paper, he was dependable. In reality, his love had grown cold, hidden beneath polite smiles and half-truths. Together, we had 2 kids, Jamal, 14, already pushing against every rule like he was allergic to authority, and Layla, 11, sweet but slowly pulling away into the world of sleepovers and TikTok dances. We lived in a modest brick house on the south side. Not rich, not poor, just stuck somewhere in between, paying bills on time but never enough left over to breathe. I worked at Green and Martin Investments, 9 years deep in a role that demanded 50-hour weeks while handing out promotions to men who had barely put in half the effort. Each review was the same. You're sharp, Alana, but you need a master's if you want to move into leadership. After the 3rd time hearing it, I stopped waiting for fairness. I enrolled in night classes. I would earn that degree, even if it killed me. And in many ways, it almost did. The grind became my life. I woke before dawn to make breakfast and sign permission slips, then rushed to the office, where clients drained every ounce of my patience. By evening, I sped across town to sit in classrooms until 9 at night. Weekends were no longer family time. They were quiet wars fought between me and textbooks, papers, and projects. Marcus used to encourage me. He'd tell the kids, "Your mom's gonna be a boss one day." But slowly, the cheerleading turned into sighs and side comments. "How much longer is this gonna take? The kids barely see you anymore." I told myself it was temporary, that when I finally held that degree, everything would make sense. That Jamal and Layla would understand why Mom had to miss their soccer games and school concerts. That Marcus would see me differently, respect me, maybe even love me the way he used to. But in the meantime, resentment grew like mold in the corners of our marriage. I should have known the celebration I imagined, my family rising to their feet, clapping with pride, was nothing more than a dream I had built to survive the storm. If my parents were any comfort, they never showed it. Growing up, my older brother Desmond had been the star. He ran a booming car dealership, flaunted his shiny watch collection, and lived in a glass-walled condo overlooking the skyline. My parents doted on him like he walked on water. Me? I was the reliable daughter, the one who handled business. That translated to me being overlooked every single time. When Desmond needed help financing his first car lot, they co-signed without blinking. When I needed someone to watch Jamal while I took a final, they suddenly became too busy. "Your brother is just more fun to be around," my mother once admitted, as if that were some kind of compliment. So when I sent out graduation invitations, I wasn't surprised by their half-hearted responses. "We'll see if we can make it." I held on to hope anyway, because hope was all I had left. But Desmond shattered it 2 weeks before the big day. He called, voice casual, like he wasn't about to split my heart in half. "Sis, I'm throwing a rooftop cookout on the 15th. Pool, DJ, whole vibe. You gotta come." My blood froze. The 15th was my graduation day. "Desmond, are you serious?" I snapped, gripping the phone until my knuckles turned white. "That's my graduation. I've been telling y'all about this for months. Oh, right, he muttered. I forgot. But you can swing by after, can't you? I mean, the party's gonna last all night. I wanted to scream. My ceremony isn't some afterthought. This is 5 years of sacrifice. This is my life. He chuckled. Girl, it's just a piece of paper. You already got a degree, right? Don't be so uptight. Just a piece of paper. That's what my blood, sweat, and sleepless nights had been reduced to. And then the gut punch. Mom and Dad already said they're coming to my cookout. They can see you some other time. I hung up trembling, then called my mother. Her voice was syrupy, almost rehearsed. Baby, can't y'all just work it out? We don't want to choose sides. You already did, I said flatly. That night, I poured my pain into Marcus's chest, expecting him to rage with me. Instead, he said, forget them. We'll be there. Me, Jamal, and Layla. That's all that matters. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. The week leading up to graduation was a blur of nerves and careful planning. I bought a navy dress with lace at the shoulders, simple but elegant. I booked a hair appointment and even splurged on a manicure, something I hadn't done in years. For once, I wanted to look like the woman I had sacrificed to become. Layla's eyes lit up when she saw me try on the dress. Mommy, you look like a princess, she whispered, hugging me tight. Tears stung my eyes. That moment alone almost made it worth it. But 3 nights before the ceremony, my mother called again, twisting the knife deeper. Desmond's got all the kids in the family coming. There's a pool, lifeguard, the works. Are you sure Jamal and Layla wouldn't rather be there than bored at some long ceremony? I froze. Mom, they're coming with me. End of discussion. But when I looked across the kitchen, Marcus wouldn't meet my eyes. He just kept scrolling his phone, jaw tight. Something inside me broke then. I realized my biggest fight wasn't with Desmond or even my parents. It was with the man who had promised to stand by me but was already drifting away. The night before graduation, tension crackled through the house like a storm about to break. Jamal sulked in the living room, muttering about wanting to swim with his cousins. Layla, usually my sweet shadow, whined about missing her best friend's party at Desmond's. I begged Marcus to back me up. This is bigger than fun, Marcus. It's about showing them what sacrifice looks like. He exhaled, long and tired. Alana, their kids. 3 hours of names being called? They'll be miserable. Let them go to the party. I'll meet you after for dinner. His words pierced me deeper than any insult could. You promised, I whispered. You looked me in the eye and promised. But his silence was louder than anything. That night, I couldn't sleep. My cap and gown hung in the corner, glowing like a ghost in the dim light. I stared at it for hours, wondering how something I had fought so hard for could feel so fragile. When I finally drifted off, I dreamed of empty chairs. And in the morning, those dreams became my reality. The house was eerily quiet when I woke up on graduation day. No sound of cartoons. No smell of Marcus frying bacon. Just silence. On the counter sat a note scribbled in his sloppy handwriting. Took the kids to Desmond's early. We'll try to make the ceremony. Congrats. I clutched the paper, rage and heartbreak crashing inside me. Try? After everything I had given up, my husband could only try? Still, I forced myself through the motions. Hair appointment. Makeup. Slipping into that navy dress that now felt like a costume for someone else's life. I took a selfie in the mirror, my smile brittle, and posted it online with a caption about chasing dreams. The likes rolled in instantly. Coworkers, classmates, even old friends cheer me on. Everyone but the people who should have been there first. I drove to the university alone. Families crowded the lawn, snapping pictures, handing out roses. Fathers lifted daughters into hugs. Mothers clutched sons with pride. I kept walking, my diploma folder suddenly feeling heavier than a brick. And when I crossed that stage, my heart knew the truth. No one who mattered most had shown up. The applause was polite, the same clap given to every name before and after mine. No cheers, no whistles, no familiar voices calling my name. Just strangers witnessing a stranger's triumph. I walked off stage with my diploma case and an emptiness so sharp it made my hands shake. For a moment, I thought I might collapse. Outside, classmates posed with parents, cousins, partners. Balloons floated into the air, cameras flashed, children squealed. I stood at the edge, trying not to cry, clutching my phone as if it could anchor me. And then I saw it. A social media post from Desmond. There they were, Marcus, Jamal, and Layla, smiling wide, poolside, roasting marshmallows with my parents. All while I stood alone in my cap and gown. Something shattered inside me then. I stumbled behind a science building, away from the noise, and let myself sob. Ugly, shaking sobs that ruined my makeup and tore through my chest. I pulled up the restaurant reservation on my phone, ready to cancel the dinner I had planned. And that's when I saw it. 45 missed calls from Marcus. My heart dropped. Something was wrong. I called him back with trembling hands. He picked up instantly, voice ragged. Alana, thank God. I've been trying to reach you. It's Jamal, he fell off the damn water slide. We're at Memorial Hospital. They think his arm's broken. My heart lurched. Is he okay? Did he hit his head? No, just his arm. But he keeps asking for you. Please, just come. I ran to my car, tossing my gown into the passenger seat like it was poison. Every mile to the hospital was a blur, tears burning my eyes. By the time I pulled into the ER, my pulse was hammering so hard I could barely breathe. When I pushed back the curtain to Bay 7, I froze. There was Jamal, pale but brave, arm in a temporary splint. Around him stood Marcus, Layla, my parents, and Desmond. All of them gathered together like the perfect family portrait. The same people who couldn't spare a seat at my ceremony had managed to show up here in full force. Mom, Jamal whispered when he saw me, relief flooding his face. You came. Of course I did, baby, I said softly. Always. But inside, my soul screamed. The doctor explained it was a clean fracture, nothing life-threatening. Relief washed through me, but it was quickly poisoned by the sight of my family laughing softly, trading updates, united as if nothing had happened. Desmond clapped my shoulder. Glad you made it, sis. The little man's been a champ. His casual tone snapped something in me. Glad I made it? I repeated. Where exactly was all this support 2 hours ago, when I was walking across a stage alone? The room went silent. My father cleared his throat, trying to calm me. Alana, this isn't the time. When is the time, Dad? When do I get to matter? My voice cracked, raw and trembling. I gave up 5 years of my life, and you couldn't give me one afternoon. But let Desmond throw a party, and suddenly you all have time. My mother blinked, confused. Baby, we didn't think it meant this much. It's just a ceremony. Just. That word cut deeper than any knife. Marcus shot me a look, begging me not to make a scene. But I was done swallowing pain. For once, I refused to stay invisible. Still, I forced myself to breathe, to focus on Jamal, who lay watching everything with wide, anxious eyes. I couldn't let him drown in the crossfire. You're right, I whispered, turning to Marcus. He needs calm. I'll save the rest for later. So I held Jamal's hand, asked the doctor questions, smiled when my son told me he'd been brave. When the nurse wheeled him to casting, I went along, my chest aching. On the walk, Jamal glanced up at me. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't come to your graduation. Dad said the party would be more fun. I swallowed hard. That wasn't your choice, baby. Don't carry that weight. But you're sad. Yes, I admitted, tears pricking my eyes. I'm sad, but I'm also proud of myself. And one day, I hope you'll understand why today mattered. He nodded slowly. I'm proud of you too, Mom, even if I didn't see it. His words nearly brought me to my knees. For the first time that day, I felt seen. When we returned, everyone was gone but Marcus. He explained that my parents and Desmond had gone to the cafeteria, dragging Layla with them. We can take him home once the paperwork's done, Marcus said carefully. I'll grab the meds. I nodded, keeping my eyes on Jamal. My phone buzzed just then. Linda, my coworker, the only person who had shown up to support me at graduation. "Where are you?" she asked, voice worried. I waited by the fountain. "I couldn't find you." "Linda, I'm sorry. Jamal had an accident. We're at Memorial." "Oh my God. Do you need anything? Food? Help?" Her kindness cracked me open.
"Dinner. Please."
I can't do this alone tonight." "On my way," she promised. When I hung up, Marcus frowned. "Who was that?" "Linda," I said coldly. "The friend who showed up when my family didn't." The silence between us said everything. We got Jamal home, settled him on the couch with pillows, his favorite show, and water by his side. Layla disappeared upstairs, quiet for once. "I'm gonna change," I told Marcus. "Then we talk." Upstairs, I peeled off the navy dress and stared at it crumpled on the floor. That dress had been bought for joy, but it now reeked of betrayal. I changed into sweatpants, washed away ruined makeup, and stared at my reflection. My eyes were swollen, but there was steel there too. When I came down, Marcus was waiting in the kitchen. "Alana, I know you're angry." "Angry?" I cut him off. "Try betrayed." He sighed, rubbing his temples. "I made a mistake. I thought the kids would be happier at the party. I didn't realize how much this meant to you." "You didn't realize?" I spat. "Marcus," I begged. "I planned. I dreamed about this day. And you broke your promise." His face crumpled. "Does one mistake erase 12 years of marriage?" "No," I said quietly. "But it changes everything." We argued quietly, careful not to wake Jamal. I laid it bare. "You didn't just skip a ceremony. You chose them over me. You taught our kids my achievements don't matter." Marcus's defenses cracked. "I was scared, Alana. Scared you'd outgrow me. Scared you'd get that promotion and look down on me. So yeah, I made the wrong call. But I didn't stop loving you." I studied him, torn between rage and heartbreak. Love without respect is useless. He looked desperate. "What do you want me to do? Tell me how to fix this." I shook my head. "I don't know. Right now, I just need space. I'm staying at the hotel I booked for my parents. A week. I'll check on Jamal daily, but I need to think." His face fell, but he didn't fight me. He knew he'd lost the right. That night, Linda came by with dinner and a leather portfolio embossed with my initials. She hugged me tight. "We're proud of you," she whispered. And for the first time all day, I believed it. The hotel room was small but quiet, peace I hadn't known in years. I cried the first night, then slept deeper than I had in months. Every day, texts and calls poured in. My parents left voicemails dripping with guilt. Desmond sent flowers. Marcus called every evening, his voice cracking with regret. But I didn't rush to forgive. I journaled, prayed, walked the city streets. I visited Jamal, brought him comics, sat with Layla at lunch. Slowly, I realized this wasn't just about one day.
It was about years of being last.
By the end of the week, I knew, if I went back, things had to change. No more being the invisible backbone. No more being everyone's afterthought. When I finally drove home, suitcase in the trunk, Marcus was waiting on the porch. The house gleamed. He had even hired a cleaner. "The kids are at school," he said softly. "Let's talk." For once, I believed he was ready to listen. We sat at the kitchen table, where so many of our battles had been fought. But this time I spoke and he listened. "I need respect. I need partnership. I need to stop being the one who sacrifices while everyone else takes. If we're rebuilding, it has to be equal." Marcus nodded, tears in his eyes. "You're right. I've been selfish. I let fear make me cruel. I don't want to lose you, Alana. Tell me how to do better." We mapped out changes, splitting housework, parenting duties, even therapy. It felt like the first real conversation we'd had in years. Later, with the kids home, we had a family meeting. Jamal and Layla listened as I explained that things were going to be different. No more mom carrying everything alone. They agreed, surprisingly eager to help. Maybe they felt the shift too. Even my parents and Desmond faced my boundaries. No more cancellations, no more favoritism without consequences. It was uncomfortable, but necessary. For once, I wasn't asking. I was demanding. Weeks passed, and slowly, life began to heal. Jamal's cast filled with classmates' signatures. Layla started helping with chores without complaint. Marcus made real efforts, celebrating my wins at work, showing up with flowers for no reason. And then, Desmond surprised me. He threw a small gathering just for me, friends, coworkers, even my parents. A cake decorated in my school colors, a framed photo of me in my cap and gown. For the first time, my family looked at me and truly saw me. Hanging my diploma in my new office, I realized the truth. My graduation wasn't just about a degree. It was a mirror, showing me exactly what needed to change. The empty seats had hurt, but they forced me to claim my worth, to demand respect that should have been mine all along. Sometimes, the deepest betrayals crack you open. Sometimes, they become the fire that forges you stronger. I had walked that stage alone. But I came out of it knowing I would never be invisible again.